Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum to all my dear students. This is your lecture number 28 of week 9 from chapter Nervous Coordination. This topic will be followed from page number 73 to 77. The contents are review of previous lesson, objectives, nerve impulse, generation and transmission of nerve impulse, velocities of nerve impulse, recap, assignment, and next topic. First of all, I will give you the review of the previous lesson, that is reflex arc and steps involved in reflex action. After completing this lesson, you will be able to define nerve impulse, describe the generation and transmission of nerve impulse, and evaluate from a graph the phenomena of polarization, depolarization, and hyperpolarization of membrane. Nerve impulse. What is nerve impulse? Nerve impulse basically is an information or signals about a stimuli that is transmitted from receptor to CNS and from CNS to the effectors. Or you can say it is a wave of electrochemical changes that travel along the length of neuron from one end to the other. Basically, a nerve cell is the way neurons communicate with one another. Nerve cells are mostly electrical signals along the dendrites to produce a nerve impulse or action potential. And the action potential is the result of ions moving in and out of the cell. So the question is how nerve impulses are generated and transmitted. So students, we will discuss the generation and transmission of nerve impulse in stepwise. Each nerve impulse involves the movement of ions through the axon membrane. Sodium ions move into the axon while potassium ion moves out of the axon. When a neuron is at resting, means not conducting any impulse, it has a negatively electrical charge, which is also called resting potential. But when sodium ions enter, it briefly become positive, means depolarized, which generate the action potential. So when the potassium leaves, the inside become negative again, therefore restoring the resting potential again here. The resting potential is the effect of difference in the ions concentration across the axon membrane. The ions include sodium, potassium, chloride ions, and other organic ions as well. When at rest, the inside of the membrane has a negative electric potential compared to the outside. This difference in potential is called resting potential and is typically about between minus 70 millivolt to minus 80 millivolt. In this resting stage, the axon is said to be polarized. So in the resting state, the carrier protein pick up sodium ions and transport them to the outside. At the same time, potassium ions are transported into the axon. This is known as the sodium potassium pump and rely on ATP from respiration. So inside the axon, there are large number of negatively charged organic ions which cannot move out of the axon. So as you can see in the diagram, the sodium ions are passed out faster than the potassium ions. Approx 3 sodium ions leave for every 2 potassium ions that enter. So net result is that the outside of the membrane is positive compared to the inside. And when the action potential is generated, the inside of the axon becomes positive and outside become negative. Or you can say when an action potential occur, the axon is said to be depolarized. This graph shows the generation and transmission of nerve impulse. First of all, a nerve impulse can be initiated by mechanical, chemical, thermal or any electrical stimulation. When the axon is stimulated, the resting potential changes. It changes from minus 70 millivolt inside the membrane to plus 40 millivolt, as you can see in the diagram. For a very brief period, the inside of the axon become positive and the outside become negative. So this change in potential is called action potential and lasts about 3 milliseconds. When the action potential occur, the axon is said to be depolarized, as you can see in the graph, and when the resting potential is re-established, the axon membrane is said to be repolarized. So here the question is, what do you mean by depolarization? Basically, when the axon is stimulated, channels open on its cell surface, which allows sodium ions to pass through. So sodium ions flood in by diffusion by active transport. So as a result, the sodium ions create a positive charge of plus 40 millivolt inside the membrane, reversing the resting potential and causing the action potential. After that, the potassium channel open in the membrane and potassium ions diffuses out along their concentration gradient. This start is called repolarization. So in the repolarization, the potassium channel close and the sodium potassium pump start again. As a result, the normal concentration of sodium and potassium ions is re-established, and the membrane is once again is its resting potential. And students, here you can see in the graph there is a slight overshoot into a more negative potential than the original resting potential. This overshoot is called hyperpolarization. So basically it is due to the slightly delay in closing all the potassium gates compared with the sodium gates. So as the potassium ions continue to return to the inside of the axon, their positive charge restores again into the normal resting potential. Now we will discuss threshold potential, refractory period and absolute refractory period. What is threshold potential? Basically, when the depolarization reaches about minus 55 millivolt, a neuron will fire an action potential. This is the threshold. That means if the neuron doesn't reach this critical threshold level, then no action potential will fire. Next is refractory period. After an action potential, nerve fibers undergo a period of recovery. This recovery of nerve fiber is called refractory period. And the part of refractory period in which the nerve fiber is not able to give response to a stimuli of any strength. Now this period is called absolute refractory period. And this refractory period lasts for only 4 seconds, so a neuron can conduct 250 impulses per second. Velocities of nerve impulse. Basically, the velocity of nerve impulse depend upon the diameter of neuron fiber. That means thick neuron fiber conduct faster impulse than a thin fiber, because resistance to electric current flow is inversely proportional to the cross section area of a conductor. So with the increase in thickness of neuron fiber, there is decrease in resistance of fiber to nerve impulse. And in human, the non-myelinated fiber nerve impulse travel at 1 to 3 meters per second, while myelinated fiber conduct 120 meter per second speed. That's mean the velocity of nerve impulse is faster in myelinated neuron fiber due to saltatory conduction. So what do you mean by saltatory conduction? Basically it is the propagation of action potential along myelinated axon from one node of Ranvier to the next node, increasing the conduction velocity of action potential, and as a result it allow a fast saltatory movement of action potential from node to node. So today we have covered the generation and transmission of nerve impulse. As we discussed, in case of neuron, the electric potential is termed as membrane potential, which is exhibited into two different forms. The one is called resting membrane potential and the other one is called active membrane potential. And we have also discussed that the sodium ion diffuse inward, it depolarizing the membrane, while the potassium ion diffuse outward and repolarizing the membrane. This is your today's assignment. Question number 1, write the difference between resting membrane potential and active membrane potential, depolarization and repolarization, repolarization and hyperpolarization, refractory period and absolute refractory period. In our next lecture, we will discuss synapse, structure of synapse, mechanism of synapse, and classification of neurotransmitters. This is all for today. Thank you and Allah Hafiz.